Hey there, this is Dr. Norman. I'll be your instructor for Physics 2. I thought that I would go ahead and introduce myself and hopefully get you interested in communicating with me throughout the semester. I'm always a little bit skeptical about how well online courses are going to work because I feel so disconnected from the students. And honestly, uh, that's my favorite thing is connecting with students. That absolutely why I do what I do. So I really hope that you'll take opportunities to contact me, get in touch with me, and let me help you through this course. I do not want you to feel alone, and even though it's a little bit self-paced, except for, of course, exams and homework due dates. So please use me as a resource. Okay. Um, so, as I said, I'm Dr. Devin Norman. I I'm not probably that interesting, but the subject that I teach actually is. And so I have an enormous love for physics, and I hope that you can see that in the way that I portray it. So for you, the student, I anticipate that you have maybe five other classes or at least a lot to do. Some of you have families, some of you have jobs. I'm aware that you're really busy. I want to make physics as approachable to you as possible. If you're taking this course, it means that you've already taken Physics 1, so you already know what grief it can cause and hopefully what love it can cause as well. So um, now you're prepared. Physics 2 is not intended to be harder than Physics 1. It's just different material. So it's almost as though you're really just taking one long physics course and we're going to continue teaching extra stuff. So I want to first get you acquainted with our Canvas structure. If you came to the Canvas course, you have found this video, and so hopefully you'll see that there's a syllabus available to you. So you can access this at any point. I'm going to go over the parts of what's in the syllabus. So you can probably even read the syllabus along with me if you wanted to. But I'm just going to tell you what all is in it, essentially. So first of all, I like to give tools for success and also some warnings of what people have had trouble with in the past. Um, if you had trouble with physics being abstract, then I promise you this semester will continue to be abstract and will probably be more abstract than the first semester was. Um, but the math isn't really harder. It's just weirder. But the upside to that is that it's cool. All of the do's and do nots are going to be the same for Physics 2 as they were for Physics 1. So from here, you'll want to click on the modules page, and this is where all of our content for the course is going to be. Okay, so now that we're on the modules page, I want you to begin thinking about the course as a course in 4 units, and each of those units is going to have 3 segments, segments 1 through 12. So Unit 1 will have segment 1, segment 2, segment 3. Unit 2 will have segments 4, 5, and 6, and so on. All of the structure of the course is going to be placed within that segment structure. So before we start with the welcome, when you actually complete all of your assignments in the course, you will have lecture videos that are associated with each segment. Right now, I only have one segment of the 12 up, Unit 1, Segment 1 videos. And you can see here the other units, but I haven't released these Segment 2, Segment 3, Segment 4 segments, and so on. I'll release those as they become relevant to the time that we're in that part of the course, right? So after segment 1, segment 2, segment 3, you will take your Unit 1 exam, and then you can begin on segment 4, and so on. So when you watch the videos for segment 1, that's intended to give you an understanding from my perspective about the best way to approach learning all of the information in segment 1. This one, for instance, will be about the forces that charges exert on one another and all of the things that occur because of that. When you click on the other modules like homework assignment, this first homework assignment is the segment 1 homework assignment. The second homework assignment, electric fields, will be segment 2. So when I release Unit 1 segment 2 videos, those will correspond with the homework assignment for electric fields. Likewise, I've provided reading. So here are my recommendations for what to read in your survey text for segment 1 and so forth, segment 2, segment 3. Those are all available already. Um, so what I want you to get a sense of is that the lecture videos will have 12 segments, the homework assignments will have 12 segments, and the reading will have 12 segments, and those will all correspond to one another, so you can keep that nice and organized. Um, let's go to the welcome module. When you begin, you will need to do your homework assignments in the Expert TA homework system. That's an online homework system um, that I'll talk about in a little bit. This welcome assignment will get you started with that. It's about $32.50 for the semester. If you can't purchase it right up front, it will give you a trial period and you can start on the homework that's necessary, and then you delay that payment by, I think, maybe 2 weeks. Um, so you'll need to do that, and that will get you set up to do all of the rest of the homework in the class. You'll also need to complete these three getting started with lab assignments, and these will show you if you don't know how to uh, get if you don't know how to make a copy of a lab, or you don't know how to alter and upload into Canvas, this will get you acquainted with that. And these altogether, this welcome module is worth 2% of your entire course grade, just like that. So it should be, an easy grade. Not a lot of those in physics. So I would like to call your attention also to the resources tab. The resources tab will have an equation sheet. The equation sheet is going to be the semester's equation sheet. This will be provided to you on every exam that you take. It'll be on your screen as you're taking your online exam. Um, I encourage you to get acquainted with this because uh, it makes solving problems on exams faster. In fact, if you take an exam, it should not require the equation sheet. It's just there for you for backup. So in order to make sure that you have what you need when you get started on an exam, it's a good idea to do your homework with the equation sheet present. You can, print it out or whatever you like. But it's a good idea to utilize this equation sheet and find the equations that are relevant to your homework questions while you're doing your homework. That way, when you get a similar question on the exam, you'll know exactly where to go to find an equation if you can't remember it. Okay. Let's go back. I will have under the resources tab virtual office hours. Those virtual office hours will be decided by the class. I sent that email regarding that. But I also have regular office hours that are on the syllabus you can see, and welcome to show up at my physical office as well if you happen to be on campus. And please use your email as a resource. Any time of day or night, you can always email. Okay, that's um, I depend on it. If you're having trouble, I can't see it unless you're in my physical class. So I need you to communicate with me, and I love working with students, and I love helping them get where they want to be. Um, okay, so for the homework system, I wanted to say that Expert TA is set up in a way that you have your welcome assignment and then the remaining 12 segments of homework that link directly from Canvas. Again, you don't actually have to come to the Expert TA page. You can just link them directly from Canvas. And as a matter of fact, you should, because that way that'll import your grades into Canvas. The way that I have the Expert TA assignment set up, you can try as many times as you like. It will actually allow you to enter in the answers that you think are correct. If you get it wrong, you can just try again. If you get it wrong and you get frustrated with it and you want to move on to the next one, that works fine. You can get problem 2 correct, and then when you feel a little better, you can go back to problem 1 and try it again. I've put 50 tries on it. There's no reason not to make 100% on the homework, unless you don't do it, right? So I find that this is preferable because then if you don't understand something, then you get feedback that you don't understand it. You don't have to wait, several days for somebody to grade it, right? So for exams, you will need to download Lockdown Browser. Lockdown Browser is a separate browser, if you're not familiar with it, that is like Firefox or Chrome or Edge. It's a special browser that makes sure that you're focused on only the exam and nothing else. There is a calculator in the browser that I provide, but I hear it's no good. So you'll want to have a TI 30 or a TI 84 or something along those lines to take your exams with. Lockdown Browser is going to ask you to look at the table, and I'll expect you to show the surroundings to make sure that you don't have, your personal physics tutor helping you to do the problems, or or your book open or something along those lines. And so you'll need to do an environment check. And then after that, you can begin the exam. If you're familiar with Lockdown Browser, some of you may have run into the issue that you have to stare at the screen. And if you look away, then it yells at you. I do not have that setting because I find that it really stresses students out. I should provide enough time for you to complete your exam. It will be timed. Usually, I make my exams somewhere between an hour and a half and 2 hours, depending on the semester and the way that things are going. Um, but I adjust the problems so that you can easily complete it within that amount of time. I can also adjust that if you have special accommodations from the Disability Resource Center. So if you have any of those accommodations, just let me know, and I, and they will as well, and we'll work together on it. Um, I do want to look at the grade components of the course. So um, the way that I try to structure this course is so that if you put in the effort, if you get the homework done in the lab, and honestly, the lab quizzes shouldn't be that difficult. And like the homework, you can keep taking them until you get it right. The lab itself is almost an effort grade. As long as you fill in all the stuff and truly make an effort on it, then you get credit for the lab, right? So you do the lab sincerely. You solve the lab quizzes. You do the homework. You've already got 40% of your grade. Um, and the rest is how well you do on the exams. So it is very difficult to fail this course. If you work really hard, you won't fail the course, right? It is also difficult to make an A on the course. I think most anybody who tries really hard to understand and also to complete the work will at least get a B in the course. Um, but all of us, have different ways of thinking, and sometimes it takes a little bit longer to align your thinking with physics. Um, just as an example here, with this great distribution, if a student were to make 55% on all of the 4 unit exams and then a 60% on the final, and a 95% on the homework, which, why not 100, right? And a 98% on the lab because, maybe you forgot to fill something out or whatever, that would still give you a C in the class, right? So the fact that this course is made up of so much exam shouldn't, and the fact that the exams can be difficult should not be discouraging to you. It should, be comforting that at least you know that if you work hard, you can pass the course. Another thing that you may notice is the little asterisk here that I've put on the final exam. The reason for that is that I have also what I call a grade save policy. And the grade save policy is that if you just completely trash an exam because you were having a bad day or you just didn't do very well during that unit because of something going on in your life, I don't know. But it gives you an opportunity to repair that grade. If you get like a 25% on an exam, and then you make a 70% on the final, then that 70% is your final exam grade. But also it duplicates that grade on top of the lowest exam grade if it's lower than the final. So um, that should help if you ended up, oh, I got 80% on exam one, I got 79% on exam two, I got 30% on exam three, and then I got 85% on exam four. And what am I going to do? That can replace that terrible exam grade. So, um, okay. So I think this pretty much covers everything that's in the syllabus. The syllabus also has a schedule at the bottom, and if you want to use that, for your calendar to kind of give you a sense of when you should complete assignments, that could be helpful, I think. But as long as you get stuff turned in correctly, correctly and on time, then that's what matters. I look forward to working with you all. If you would like to, I encourage you to send me an email introducing yourself. If I don't know you, you can always send me an email saying hi if I do know you. That's welcome too. But I really like to get to know my students, so please, get in touch and let me know if there are any other questions about the course.